In today's video, we're diving into 10 Netflix original films that are nothing short of cinematic perfection. Whether you're into thrilling action, heart-wrenching drama, or mind-bending mysteries, these picks are guaranteed to keep you glued to your screen. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and comment below if I missed any or share your favorite. Marriage Story.
Not being in love anymore.
Eventually, it'll be the two of you having to figure this out.
Marriage Story is a powerful and honest film about a couple going through a painful divorce. Directed by Noah Baumbach, it stars Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, who deliver outstanding performances as Charlie and Nicole. Though they still care for each other, their relationship is falling apart, and once lawyers get involved, things only get worse. Through flashbacks, intense arguments, and emotional courtroom scenes, we see how love can turn into resentment when communication breaks down. The film doesn't take sides. Instead, it shows both perspectives with empathy.
I'm alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness.
I'll never get to really be his parent again. He needs to know that I fought for him.
Marriage Story opens to widespread praise for its emotionally rich performances, particularly from Driver and Johansson, with many critics and fans calling them the best of their careers. One of the most praised aspects of Marriage Story is its phenomenal performances, especially by Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. Their deeply emotional and raw portrayal of a couple going through a divorce is at the heart of this compelling film. Beasts of No Nation. Beasts of No Nation is one of the most devastatingly powerful war dramas ever made, and probably the best film about child soldiers, period. Directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga, it follows a boy named Agu, whose life is torn apart when civil war hits his village. After being separated from his family, he ends up in a rebel group led by a ruthless and manipulative leader, played by Idris Elba, who's terrifyingly good in the role.
They are my family. Are you ready to fight? Only taking the brave.
Yes, sir!
This isn't just about bullets and battles. It's about what war does to a kid's mind, how it twists innocence into survival. The violence is brutal, the emotions are even tougher, and visually, it's stunning. Every frame feels like it matters. It's not an easy film to sit through, but that's the point. And the fact that the Oscars completely ignored it, that still feels like a joke. The King.
Are you scared?
On me!
Timothée Chalamet trades indie films for armor in The King, a dark, slow-burn Netflix drama that feels more like Game of Thrones than a history lesson. It's not the first time we've seen him play a young ruler. Just like in Dune, he steps into the role of a prince who doesn't ask for power but gets it anyway. Here, he's Prince Hal, drifting through life until his father dies, and suddenly, he's King Henry V. He's thrown into palace politics, forced to grow up fast, and pushed into war with France. This isn't about flashy battles or royal glamour. It's about the weight of leadership. You watch him go from aimless to hardened, carrying the crown like a burden. The tone is serious, the pace is steady, and the performances, especially from Chalamet, are solid. If you're into character-driven war stories with grit and gravity, The King is worth checking out. The Irishman.
They don't know I know.
The Irishman is a grand reunion of cinema legends, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, brought together under the masterful direction of Martin Scorsese. The film follows Frank Sheeran, a truck driver who becomes a hitman, and his connection to big-time mob figures and union boss Jimmy Hoffa. The story stretches over decades, from post-Woody America to the rise of organized crime, told through the eyes of an aging Frank looking back on his life.
Put you into this thing.
Sooner or later, everybody put here as a date when he's gonna go.
It's about loyalty, betrayal, and living with the choices you made. The film uses de-aging tech to cover all those years, but at its core, it's a quiet, powerful reflection on time, regret, and legacy. Slow-paced, yes, but it hits hard. This isn't just a gangster story. It feels like a goodbye from the old guard of cinema. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Lock the doors.
Stay in your rooms.
Everyone
is in danger.
After Knives Out took everyone by surprise in 2019, with critics and audiences both eating it up, Netflix stepped in and made a big move. They bought the rights to the sequels. But Glass Onion? It plays by a different set of rules. Unlike the first one, this one leans more into spectacle, satire, and humor than classic mystery structure. It starts off slow, but once Detective Benoit Blanc shows up, the gears start turning. The setup? A billionaire tech mogul invites his inner circle to a private island in Greece for a weekend murder mystery game. Sounds fun, until someone actually ends up dead.
You're all friends. Why would anyone commit murder?
Are we even going to talk about the elephant in the room?
As Blanc digs in, we start to see the story unfold from different angles, revealing twists, secrets, and a whole lot of ego. It's packed with a star-studded cast, sharp dialogue, and some not-so-subtle jabs at the ultra-wealthy. It's bold, flashy, and full of surprises, but don't expect it to follow in Knives Out's footsteps. Glass Onion is doing its own thing, for better or worse. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. One of the most inspiring and authentic films on Netflix, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, opens with a deeply emotional story that left viewers around the world moved and humbled. Set in Malawi, it tells the true story of William Kamkwamba, a 13-year-old kid who's forced to drop out of school when his family can't afford the fees. But instead of giving up, he teaches himself how to build a wind turbine using scrap parts, just so he can help his village survive a brutal famine. It's not just about invention, it's about grit. This kid faces doubt from his community, pressure at home, and every reason to quit, and he still keeps going. The film doesn't sugarcoat anything. It shows the struggle, the poverty, the fight to survive, all grounded in the reality of rural Africa, and that's what makes it hit so hard. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings.
That man is a wonder. We'll just have to see, won't we?
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs might be one of the most unusual westerns you'll ever watch. It's a Netflix original from the Coen brothers, told as 6 short stories, all set in the brutal, unpredictable world of the Wild West. One minute you're laughing at a singing gunslinger in a white suit, and the next you're watching a heartbreaking story about a limbless performer and the man who takes care of him, for better or worse. There's a gold prospector digging for one last shot at glory, a quiet love story that takes a dark turn, and a stagecoach ride that feels like a conversation with death itself.
Things have a way of escalating out here in the West.
Each chapter has its own tone, some funny, some devastating, but they all tap into that harsh reality of frontier life, where fate doesn't play favorites. The visuals are gorgeous, the writing is razor sharp, and the performances stick with you. It's not your typical Western, and that's exactly what makes it so damn memorable. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Du musst jetzt tapfer sein. Für die, die es nicht geschafft haben.
All Quiet on the Western Front delivers a harsh reality from the start. You are not heroes. There is no glory. This German adaptation of Erich Maria Remarque's iconic anti-war novel doesn't just tell a story. It assaults your senses. Set during World War I, we follow 17-year-old Paul Bäumer and his friends, eager to fight for Germany, swept up in patriotic propaganda.
Wir bleiben zusammen, ja, Paul? Wir bleiben zusammen.
But their dreams of honor and adventure shatter instantly in the hellscape of the trenches. War is not noble. It is cold, relentless, and utterly meaningless. Director Edward Berger delivers one of the most harrowing war movies ever made, with gut-wrenching battle sequences, stunning cinematography, and a hauntingly minimalist score. The Two Popes.
On the journey, I'll introduce you to him. You must remember that you are not God.
Absolutely loved The Two Popes. Same here. And honestly, you don't need to be Catholic to feel the weight of this one. The performances alone are reason enough to watch. Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce are incredible, completely disappearing into their roles as Pope Benedict XVI and Cardinal Bergoglio, the man who'd go on to become Pope Francis. There's such warmth, wit, and depth in every scene. It almost feels like you're eavesdropping on two old friends working through something big. Most of the story plays out inside the Vatican, and while the premise might sound quiet, just two men talking, it's anything but boring. It picks up after the death of Pope John Paul II and builds toward Benedict's stunning resignation in 2013.
The grand doors have slammed shut and will remain so till the next pope has been chosen.
From that balcony up there,
Along the way, we see these two very different men, one deeply traditional, the other pushing for change, find common ground in the most unexpected ways. They clash over everything from theology to ABBA, but there's humor, honesty, and even a little dancing in there. Yep, there's a tango. The script by Anthony McCartan, same guy behind Bohemian Rhapsody and The Theory of Everything, is sharp and deeply human. And with Fernando Meirelles directing, the whole thing looks beautiful too. The Vatican has never felt more alive on screen.
The devil all the time.
I do because I have to.
The Devil All the Time isn't just dark, it's pitch black. Set in post-Whitpui, Ohio and West Virginia, this psychological thriller dives into a world full of broken people, where violence, grief, and twisted faith bleed into every corner of life. At the center is Arvin Russell, played by Tom Holland, a kid who's been through hell and is doing everything he can to protect what little good he has left. Around him, the film weaves in a lineup of seriously messed up characters: a war-torn father, a sleazy preacher played by Robert Pattinson, a killer couple, and a crooked sheriff.
It is our delusion that lead us to sin.
The cast, absolutely stacked. Tom Holland, Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, Riley Keough, they all bring their A-game. Now, this film isn't for everyone. It's slow, it's heavy, and yeah, some might say it tries to juggle too much. But underneath all that, there's something really unsettling and sharp about how it looks at religion, how it can be twisted, abused, and used as a cover for cruelty.